Is there anything this little box can't do? The Aqara M3 hub is not your average smart home hub. It's Matter-enabled both as a controller to some extent and as a bridge, letting it play nicely with other Matter controllers in your home like Apple HomeKit and Google Home. It's a pretty nifty device all by itself though, with a basic speaker inside for alarm sounds, the ability to be powered by Ethernet alone, and it can even learn and control infrared devices. But moreover, if you have any existing Aqara products, you're going to want the Hub M3. And in today's video, I'll put it through its paces to tell you why. I'm James Bruce, you're watching MatterAlpha.com, home of all things Matter. Aqara is a pioneer when it comes to Matter support for their vast array of smart home products and have gone all in on bringing their existing extensive Zigbee product line into the Matter ecosystem. That's the first huge role that the Hub M3 can perform for you, bridging existing Zigbee sensors and devices over the network into your Matter ecosystem. So you don't need to upgrade just to get Matter compatibility. That's huge. And it's not just Aqara branded sensors either. Although it's a more limited list, the Hub M3 can actually bridge some other manufacturers' Zigbee sensors and devices, but it's worth checking first because it's not universal support. So although we are a strictly Matter-based channel, in order to check out these bridging capabilities, we were also sent a temperature and humidity sensor and a T1 LED strip, neither of which are natively Matter compatible, and both of which require a Zigbee 3.0 hub to work. Now on top of that, I'll be pairing the Hub M3 with the new P2 motion and light sensor and the P2 door and window sensor, both of which we have written reviews of over on MatterAlpha.com. So let's talk about design. Inside the Hub M3 box, you'll find the hub itself, a mounting plate and some screws, as well as a USB-C power cable. No adapter is provided, so you'll need one with at least 5 volt, 2 amps for your particular country. The device itself is compact, about what you'd expect from a hub, really. A roughly 10 centimeters square and about 3.7 centimeters deep, or 4.13 by 1.44 inches, and it weighs 330 grams, about the same as a mobile phone. That's surprisingly heavy, so you can't just use a 3M sticky pad to mount it. You will need to screw in the provided mounting plate or just leave it flat on the table. There's a USB-C port and an Ethernet port for connectivity, more on that in a moment. In terms of setup, power on for the first time and you'll hear ready to connect. Please open the Aqara Home app. If this is your first time opening the app, you'll be greeted by a slew of permissions requests. Bluetooth, your home data, that sort of thing. Grant them all. Click Add Accessory in the top right and it'll automatically detect the Bluetooth signal from the M3 hub. You'll also need to scan a QR code to verify, but be careful as there are 2 affixed on the back of the devices. Use your thumb to cover up the Matter code and ensure you only scan the Aqara one, otherwise you'll get an error. They are different codes. Next up, select Wi-Fi or Ethernet connection. Now, one pitfall here is that if you suddenly decide to use Ethernet and you didn't already plug it in, then good luck, because the USB cable really gets in the way. So you'll need to pull the power from the USB and then restart at this point. Wi-Fi is an option, but one of the few rules I live by is that if it has an Ethernet port, you should plug it in and keep the airwaves clear for devices that don't. You're potentially going to get a faster response time too over Ethernet, so well worth it. Interestingly, if you have PoE or Power over Ethernet infrastructure in your home network, you can ditch the USB-C cable entirely and just power the whole thing on Ethernet alone. Brilliant. Then you're ready to start adding sub or child devices. These are sensors and devices that your hub will control. I started with the P2 door and window sensor that I reviewed before in pure Matter mode. I first had to delete it from HomeKit, then enter pairing mode by holding down the button and adding it by selecting from a list, and type in the Matter pairing code written on the side of the sensor itself. Still, all good, easy enough. I could have re-exported it from HomeKit, but I wanted a fresh start and to have all the Aqara sensors directly on this controller. The P2 motion and light sensor was equally simple to add over Matter. Again, just a case of holding down the pairing button, typing in the code. Next up, I added the temperature and humidity sensor. Technically, it has an atmospheric pressure sensor too, but that's not a HomeKit compatible data point, so you'll only get that within the Aqara app. This was added seamlessly enough, but it wasn't obvious to me how I go about actually adding that to HomeKit, and it turns out it just worked. It was there automatically. And appears to be because it's a Zigbee device. So the Zigbee things are automatically bridged they just go straight away into HomeKit once you have that bridge set up. Adding the T1 lighting strip was also easy, although not automatically detected. You just find it in the list of devices, and then the hub voice prompts you that it's been added. If it's not already in pairing mode, you just follow the on-screen instructions, hold down the power button for 5 seconds, that's it. So here's where some of the customization features shine in the Aqara app. When you're adding it to the dashboard, you can choose the amount of control that you want. So you can either have like a basic dimmer style card, or you can have a few more expansive options, up to a full one which controls power, brightness, and a sort of color selector as well, which I opted for. So obviously it takes up more room, but it gives you a lot more granular control. The T1 lighting strip, by the way, is about 2 meters of RGB WW lighting. It's not something we'll be doing a separate review of, but it's a pretty good LED strip. So as well as that extensive sort of control that you can get from the dashboard, you can also jump right into automation. So onto automation with the Hub M3. The Aqara Hub itself provides an extensive set of automation capabilities, but I won't say it's the easiest to use, possibly because of language quirks. So one thing I ran into pretty quickly was the difference between blue and green actions. Let me explain this confusion first. On the door sensor, for instance, you have 2 different time-based events to use in the if or the trigger section of a new automation. One that says is open for with a green dot, and one that says is open exceeding with a blue dot. They are both fundamentally the same thing, but you should know that a green action is a one-time trigger event, while blue is a current status. So you can combine 2 triggers from different sensors, but you must have one and only one green, which is the initial event that triggers this automation, and then 0 or more blue status checks. So you can't just use blue because it would be having to run all the time, which is not allowed. And you can't have more than one green because they're one-off events that don't occur together. This is a little more obvious with the basic actions. The open action, for instance, with a green label is a one-time event, as in the door has been opened just now. While is open with a blue dot is for you to use in conjunction with other sensors. For instance, motion got detected and the door is currently open. So once I understood that fundamental concept, it was really easy to make some useful automations. Now, because I test a lot of smart home gear, I decided to put anything Aqara down in my little secret bunker. And here's what I came up with in 5-10 minutes. Firstly, if you enter the utility room while the bunker door is closed, the presence sensor will detect you in that utility room, and then it'll start playing the preloaded missile alert sound. And that's dependent on the bunker door being closed as well. You can actually upload custom MP3s to this, but it was a little more complexity than I needed for now. Then I have a separate electronic lock on the bunker door, and the only way to disable the alarm that comes from the Aqara is to either open the door or, well, leave the room. Now, since I'm not going to show you how to unlock my bunker door on video, I'm going to use the magic of editing to do this next part. Once the door is opened, and if the light levels are less than 10 lux, which would indicate it's nighttime, using of course the light and motion sensor, then the LED strip will activate a custom lighting scene, a very easy dynamic red breathing effect. So my initial impressions of automation on the Hub M3 are that it's a little confusing to pick up, but once you get used to it, it's quite easy to implement and everything appears to work reliably. For anyone with an existing smart home setup using Zigbee sensors from Aqara, the Hub M3 seems like an essential purchase. As far as I can tell, if you've added your hub as a Matter bridge, once added to your hub, your Zigbee devices are automatically bridged over to your Matter environment seamlessly, which is a breath of fresh air for anyone who's sort of dabbled in smart home ecosystems. Now, what I haven't been able to try, of course, is migration from another Aqara hub, bringing all of the sensors into the Hub M3, but that's also a thing. So the light strip T1 and the temperature sensor, those all just automatically appeared in my Apple Home, which was a little bit disconcerting, but also very convenient. Matter over thread accessories such as the light or door sensors aren't automatically synced, but you can manually follow the Matter device export procedure to get those added smoothly, or you can just click on Add to Apple Home, which is also an option in the app. The Aqara Home app is well designed, and I must say I think I prefer the dashboard there compared to, say, HomeKit. It's just laid out in a more intuitive and attractive way. compared to HomeKit, which tends to simplify and abstract everything, I think. Native automation using the Aqara Home app is relatively easy to set up, except for a few language issues that I mentioned. But you quickly pick that up, and the automations are responsive and reliable, which is of course the most important thing when you're talking about, say, security systems or anything that controls your home environment. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hit like if you found this review helpful, and head on over to Matter Alpha or our Discord to join us and chat about Matter smart home appliances. Until next time, I've been James Bruce. You're watching MatterAlpha.com.